Title, Blood and Faith. Setting, it's 1864, a year after the Band of Five pulled off the heist of a lifetime, stealing Confederate gold under the cover of night. Since then, Jeremiah Preacher Hawkins has tried to reconcile his actions, grappling with the blood on his hands and the fading remnants of his faith. But when a ghost from his past, the man responsible for slaughtering his family, returns, Preacher is forced to face a choice: justice or revenge. Scene 1, The Quiet Before the Storm. The desert heat beats down on a desolate church at the edge of a small Arizona frontier town. The building is old, the wooden cross above the door weathered and cracked, barely standing after years of neglect. Inside, Jeremiah Preacher Hawkins kneels in the pews, his head bowed in silence, hands clasped together in prayer, though his mind is far from peaceful. His faith had faltered long ago. He stopped wearing the collar after his family was killed, slaughtered by a band of Confederate raiders during the war. Since then, the only thing that has guided him has been vengeance and the cold steel of his shotgun. But even with his reputation as a deadly vigilante, the words of the Bible still haunted him. Thou shalt not kill. As the silence grows heavier, the door creaks open behind him. A man enters, one of the town's ranchers, wide-eyed and breathless. Preacher? It's him. He's here. Jeremiah slowly rises to his feet, his expression darkening. Who? He asks, though he already knows. Captain Elias Graves. He rode into town with some men. Looks like they're hunting for someone. Jeremiah's chest tightens. Graves, once a Confederate officer, now a notorious bounty hunter, was the man responsible for the deaths of his wife and son. The man he had hunted across the frontier for years, always one step behind. He had thought Graves dead, lost to the chaos of the war, but now he had returned. God have mercy, Jeremiah mutters under his breath as he retrieves his shotgun, because I won't. Scene 2. The past resurfaces. Jeremiah steps into the blazing afternoon sun, his weathered duster billowing behind him as he makes his way down the dirt road. The town is quiet, the people watching from behind windows and doors, their fear palpable. Graves was a name spoken in hushed tones, a man known for his brutality during the war and his ruthless hunts afterward. Jeremiah's mind flashes back to that night, his home burning, the screams of his wife and son echoing through the flames, and the cold, hollow laughter of Graves as he and his raiders rode away. He had sworn then to bring the man to justice, to cleanse his soul of the weight of vengeance. But years of bloodshed had only darkened his heart further. As he approaches the town's saloon, Jeremiah pauses at the door, gripping his shotgun tightly. This wasn't just about justice anymore. This was a reckoning. Inside, Graves and his men sit around a table, drinking and laughing. The years have been hard on him, his once proud face now lined with scars and cruelty. When Graves sees Jeremiah enter, his grin widens. Well, if it ain't the preacher himself, Graves drawls, his voice dripping with malice. Thought you'd given up hunting me, Hawkins. Jeremiah steps forward, his voice low and steady. I haven't, and now it's time to answer for what you did. Graves leans back, laughing as his men sneer. Is that so? Seems to me you've got more blood on your hands than I do, preacher. You think killing me will make things right? Wash away all them sins? Jeremiah's grip tightens on the shotgun, his hands trembling. Graves was right. He had killed so many since the war. Men who may have deserved it, but still, each death added weight to his soul. He had become the very thing he once swore to fight. I don't seek redemption, Jeremiah says coldly, only justice. Scene 3. A test of faith. The silence in the saloon thickens as Graves slowly rises to his feet, hand hovering over his pistol. You think you're righteous, Hawkins? You think your God still listens to you after all the men you've sent to hell? Jeremiah doesn't flinch. I don't know if he listens anymore, but I do know one thing. He'll be the judge of us both. Graves's grin fades, replaced by a sneer. Well then, let's see if your God can stop a bullet. In the blink of an eye, Graves reaches for his gun, but Jeremiah is faster. His shotgun roars to life, the blast sending Graves flying back into the wall. The other men scramble for their weapons, but Jeremiah is a force of nature, moving through the room with deadly precision. One by one, they fall, each shot a prayer, each kill a confession. The smoke clears, leaving only silence and the stench of gunpowder. Graves lies on the floor, bleeding out, his eyes wide with shock. Jeremiah stands over him, his shotgun smoking. Scene 4. The Ghost of a Chance. Graves gasps for breath, blood pouring from his mouth. You? You think this makes you better than me? He spits. You're just a killer, same as me. Jeremiah kneels down beside him, staring into the dying man's eyes. Maybe I am, but at least I can still choose to stop. For a moment, Jeremiah contemplates finishing it, pulling the trigger and sending Graves to hell where he belonged. But something inside him shifts. His hands tremble as he lowers the shotgun. I should kill you, Jeremiah whispers, the conflict raging in his chest. But I won't. You're not worth it. Graves laughs weakly, blood trickling down his chin. Mercy, preacher? After all these years? Jeremiah shakes his head. No, it's not mercy. It's me letting go. He stands, leaving Graves bleeding out on the floor. The saloon is deathly quiet as he steps outside into the fading light, the weight of his decision pressing down on him. Scene 5. Redemption or damnation. The town watches in stunned silence as Jeremiah walks away from the saloon. His shotgun hangs loosely at his side, and though he has spared Graves, the victory feels hollow. He knows the blood on his hands won't wash away so easily. But maybe, just maybe, this is the first step towards something better. As he reaches the edge of town, a young boy tugs at his sleeve. Preacher, what'll you do now? Jeremiah looks down at the boy, then back at the town he's leaving behind. I'll keep walking, he says quietly, and maybe one day I'll find the man I used to be. The boy looks confused, but Jeremiah offers him a small, sad smile before continuing down the dusty road. Behind him, the sun begins to set, casting long shadows across the town as night falls.